Assalamu alaikum, welcome everyone to Amazed by the Quran, a series in which I love sharing with you things I find amazing about the Quran. Today I'll share with you an ayah, a long ayah from Surah Al-An'am, and one piece of it that really just pops out, it just sticks out so incredibly. قُلْ, say, تَعَالَوْا أَتْلُ مَا حَرَّمَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَيْكُمْ. Say, I'll read on to you, I'll recite on to you what your master has forbidden upon you. So obviously in the onset of this ayah, there's going to be already a mental preparation for the listener that Allah is going to make a list of things that are prohibited. So I'll list a few things, but I'll skip one of them on purpose. أَلَّا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا, that you shouldn't commit any shirk with Him, don't associate any partners, don't commit that act of blasphemy of associating someone with Allah, creating an equivalent or anything like that with Allah. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ مِنْ إِمْلَاقٍ, and don't kill your children because of bankruptcy. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ, we're the ones who provide all of you and them. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الْفَوَاحِشْ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ, and don't go near all the varying forms of lewdness and vulgarity, the ones that are obvious among those kinds of forms and the ones that are secret. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ, and don't kill a soul that Allah, the life that Allah has sanctified, except with a just cause, which means through the courts, etc. ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّعْقِلُونَ, then that is the counsel that He's giving you so that you can apply your intellect, you can think and analyze. Now I skipped one thing on purpose. Of course, the list of prohibitions is pretty clear. Don't associate partners with Allah, that's a pretty big deal. Don't kill your children, don't commit acts of shamelessness, and finally, don't kill any innocent soul. Right? So there's 4 prohibitions. But there's a 5th that's actually not a prohibition. And here's how it goes. Don't associate any partners with Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and when it comes to both parents, excellence. When it comes to both parents, excellence. Now, if you think about, you better be excellent with both parents, you're not thinking about a prohibition. Allah didn't say, don't be mean to parents. لَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا, don't abandon them. Don't, لَا تَسْدَجِرْ, don't scold them. Or don't look at them with harsh eyes, etc. It's not a prohibition, it's actually a command. When it comes to parents, excellence. This is one of the most incredible ways of the Quran expressing the standard by which one must deal with their parents. And that standard is, excellence is the minimum. In prayer, in Hajj, in any act of worship that we do, there's a minimum requirement that you have to meet for that to be acceptable. And then of course you have to try to do better and better and better and better. There's always room for improvement in your prayer. Your fasting could always have been better. But there's a minimum that you must meet for the fast to be considered an actual legitimate fast, for your prayer to be considered a legitimate prayer, etc. Right? And so we know that acceptability depends on the minimum. But when it comes to our dealings with, specifically with our parents, what Allah does here is He says anything short of your very best is actually haram, is prohibited. Like He made the minimum, technically He made the minimum the maximum, subhanallah. By putting all of those prohibitions, and right after His own rights, don't do any shirk with Him. He didn't say, do the best worship of me all the time. He didn't say that. He said, just don't commit the vile act of shirk with me. That's the prohibition with Allah. But when it comes to your parents, you better show excellence. And then He doesn't even say, أَحْسِنُوا بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ, be good to parents. He says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, which is actually a really amazing way of giving an instruction. You don't even say a full sentence. You say, when it comes to both parents, excellence. That's it. Like in a word, you better watch it. There's nothing short of that is acceptable of you. Subhanallah. So this, as I leave you with this thought about how high the standard has been set for my relationship with my parents, we're in a time now where we can joke around with our parents. We make fun of them and fun with them, and sometimes they don't find it offensive, and that's okay. But when we trivialize things that hurt them, in their absence, we're talking about how silly they can be, and how their quirky habits and things like that. And we're talking about that with our friends, and that if your father was there, your mother was there, and they were hearing this, they'd be embarrassed. Then not only are you committing an act of ghiba, which is, backbiting, which is ugly enough as it is as a sin, it's far short of the excellence demanded by Allah for your parents. So when it comes to our mother and our father, which of course we know them better than anybody else, we know their weird habits better than anybody else. Family moments happen and things like that, but we're going to shield them more than anyone else. And we're going to show goodness to them in their presence and in their absence more than anybody else. That's how we have to hold ourselves. Final comment on this, inshallah, is your very best is not the same as perfection. You have to do your very best. Allah did not say itqan, He said ihsan. Itqan is a kind of perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. Sometimes, and I've met families, I've met people whose parents are abusive. That's a reality. Parents sometimes they're physically abusive. Sometimes they're emotionally, psychologically abusive. This person, when he's in the presence of his mom, he starts hyperventilating and he starts actually having seizures because he can't, the relationship with his mom was so terrible and this is terrible things to him. Moms usually are great people, but they're also human beings. They mess up too. And there can be some terrible examples of parents in the world. You know what? You'll have to do the best within your situation. You can't compare your situation to somebody else who's got a very much more normal relationship with their parents and they're able to do all these things, spend time with their parents and hang out with them and go to dinners with them. And then you say, well, I can't do that, so I must be a terrible person. No, every situation is unique. And every situation requires what is the most that you could have done within your limits. Allah does not want you to put yourself in harm's way. We don't accept abuse from anyone. Not even our parents. Not even our parents. This has to be heard because, in the name of Islam, in the name of ayat like this one, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, we've made the assumption that parents have open license. No, they don't have open license. They deserve the very best that we can do. And we're going to do our very best. And we're going to be patient with them more than we are with anybody else. But injustice is injustice. And it must be called for what it is. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us the best we can possibly be to our parents. And we as parents, may Allah make us of those who are not unjust parents or unfair parents or put undue burden on our children. May Allah Azza wa Jal make our children a means of our own salvation and us a means of the salvation of our parents. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.